Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. I am your host, Xa Lee, and let's begin streaming, streaming the modern technology. And let's go to Twitter, classic live streaming. Okay, you have to wait for it, even though technology is so advanced, but you still have to wait for it. And should I go to Twitter and tell people I'm live? It's kind of late. Okay, so we are here, and let me pop out this window. As usual, you come in, see my show, my talk show, and you type questions there, and I'll talk about anything. So first of all, Xa Talk Show, and let's give a date. Good morning, break the loop. How's your morning? So let me fix the title first, and yeah. So guys, whoever you are coming on, just go to the website, this website, and below the info box on YouTube, and go there and pick a topic. Just type it, and I'll talk about that topic. I had a great sleep. Break the loop. Mine is good. Just finished having breakfast. Breakfast is good. I had Chinese 饺子. So how do you say that in English? Dumplings. Okay, Chinese dumplings. You buy a bag. So if you guys in California, in San Francisco, in the Silicon Valley, or San Francisco Bay Area, you can go to, there's a Chinese market called Ranch 99, and you can buy these dumplings, Chinese dumplings. Let's see, dumplings. Now let's go to. Okay, so guys, pick a topic. Okay, go to Xa Talk Show page and pick a topic. Now this is how dumpling looks. Now they look delicious. Back in Taiwan, my grandmom, my dad's mom, used to make these. So by hand, manually, you make the dough, a dough, flour and water. You make a dough, and you roll it. Then you roll it into a strip, like a cylinder strip. Then you cut, one piece out. Then you flatten it. Then you got a little about this size, flat, very thin dough. Then you put meat into it and you seal it. Then it looks like that. These are dumplings. Break the loop. Good morning, Ali. Ali, where are you from? I always like to ask that, like what country. So break the loop says I did a little JavaScript programming and gonna continue. So why are you learning Java? um, so I mean, so what? Yeah, are you learning Java for job reasons or for something? So anyway, there's dumplings. So you go to the ranch market. So in California, there's a market called Ranch Market, Ranch 99. Okay, actually, that yeah. So it looks like that. It's a chain store. So basically, they sell Chinese food stuff. So you can go there and you can pick up like like a bag, $3 or $4, or there are more expensive ones like $6 or $9. Okay, a bag of Chinese dumplings. Then you can just boil them. You don't have to make them manually. So let's go back. Let's go to Xa Talk Show and let's start talking about some topics, some serious topics of humanity, of the human animals. So, good morning, Ali. Good morning, Dion. Good morning, Kuwait. Oh my God, Ali is from Kuwait. It's funny. Good morning, Aaron. So Dion is from Southern California, and where are you from, Aaron? So I got my followers tends to be around the world. I mean, even though I only use basically all my blogs are English, but Americans typically, so what I'm saying is that disproportionately, I have more followers outside of USA, in Japan, Germany, Israel, South Africa, and some other African countries I've seen, and and of course China too. China and Taiwan and Hong Kong. So I mean, it seems to me, okay, I don't really have the statistics. Seems to me that my followers tends to be, I mean, disproportionately outside of USA, because I kind of, that's my guess, okay, but I kind of guessed why, because in USA, I attack the American things all the time, before it was conservatives, God believing conservatives. Now it's the social justice scan, and the San Francisco, the Bay Area programmers, they are like, you know, they are all like nice, and they want to help the world. And to the situation today, we have the worst world possible. So they kind of shun me. I get annoyed about that too, because like it's hard to say. It's hard to deal with these kind of problems, because you can say, I have many acquaintances, and I, for example, if we go to Twitter on Emacs, like all the Emacs dev know me, okay. um it's hard to talk to them about, oops, wait, what's going on? Okay, it's hard to talk to them about things, because especially today under the social justice era, because you cannot say things, like, it becomes to such a degree, anything outside of programming, you cannot say it, you cannot talk about it, because almost everything becomes controversial. You cannot. And then another problem is that you cannot talk to women anymore, female, like once you talk to them, there's a situation where it will hold on a second, it's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. Are you harassing me or something? So, but if you don't talk to them, then, oh my God, it's another problem. Are you sexist because you don't talk to women? It's so bad. Like, I can tell you, I can actually cite examples. Like today, like on Emacs, my Emacs Twitter account, ergo Emacs Twitter. Okay. I mean, so I mean, these things are hard to talk about. I mean, a lot of these people I know, and some of them follow me, right? I'm not saying, they are. I mean, it's just like you cannot talk about these anything outside of technical topics. I mean, also if you observe them, also they are very. It seems like they are all, all these typically white programmers. Okay, they are, you look at their posts. Okay, I follow, some of the. I have to log in. So let's log in. Uh, and let's I'll Emacs. Okay, I'll Emacs password. Okay. So you look at their tweets. Some of these technical people, you can clearly see that they also they have also become, let's see, followings. Okay. Save password, no, never save anything, to the browsers. Okay, these people. Okay, this guy is a keyboard fan. Hi Troy, if you are watching. I mean, okay, it's, so what I'm saying is that it's a hard topic to say. It's not like I don't like them. You know, it's even mentioning that that is a problem. What do you mean you don't like them? You mean implicitly you already don't like them? No, but you know, so they are my acquaintances, and some of them are my friends, and you know, I'm following them. But many of and you look at their posts, you know, too. They are like they avoid, you know, you can tell, you know, they consciously avoid anything. They only talk about and phrasing when they, you know, talk, they only limit themselves to, you know, very technical or very general pleasing topics, nothing controversial. I mean, you know, so people has become that, you know, to it's pretty bad. um yeah, and you know, sometimes I, you know, I talk sometimes I reply to some of them, because my solid Twitter account, you know, I tends to talk about anything. So you have a situation where I can tell, you know, they cannot readily talk to me because because then they are associating with someone, you know, potentially bad. Yeah. So so anyway, so let's read the comments and let's start talking about something. Uh, did a little bit of Java. Gonna continue while you are talking in the background. Chinese dumpling is the best. Good morning, Ali. Ali. Ali is from Kuwait. Yeah, that's amazing. Kuwait. Break the Loop says learning Java for test automation at work. Oh, okay, test automation. And also long term, I would like to create an Android app. Okay, that's good. You know, I Android app. It's unfortunate to me that Google, you know, choose Java for Android app. Uh, Also, I find it fun to do programming challenge problems. Yes. Good morning, Dion. Good morning, Aaron. Oh, did you already talk about compile how compiler? No, I haven't talked about how compilers work. So maybe let's talk about that. How compilers work. I'm just, you know, I can give a introduction. That's what I that's all I can do. You know, I haven't written a compiler by, you know, so but you know, most vast majority, 99.999 programmers have not written a compiler. In fact, 99.999% of programmers who, you know, make a living programming, they don't even know the basic steps of how compiler works. So maybe I talk about that. Oh yeah, Dion is from London, baby. So, well, compilers might be a big topic. You can talk about what you are in the mood. Okay. Dion says solid chat is very widespread over the earth. Maybe because you have so many pages about Unicode. Uh, Addiction to politics rots the brain. Uh, Anyone here know much about deep learning? Yeah, I don't know anything about deep learning or machine learning. I haven't learned it. Yeah, so I mean the machine learning thing, you know, I like to, but actually that's not what I want to study. You know, machine learning is fashionable today, you know, right? Because Google and, you know, Facebook you know, machine driving, you know, automated driving cars and stuff is all about AI. However, you know, note that it's not AI, artificial intelligence. It's very that is one branch of science that is very you know, it's a big subject, and it's very the thing about machine learning or artificial intelligence or deep learning is that it's very commercial enterprise, meaning that I mean, it's also a academic, very deep academic subject. But meanwhile, it has a special status of being extremely commercially lucrative, or even powerful today, because you know, it's said that, you know, whoever creates the best AI rule the world. Basically, we are entering AI age, artificial intelligence age. So so as an academic subject by itself, it's very deep and interesting, but also it has a kind of unique status, being meanwhile also extremely commercially lucrative. Okay. However, many other academic subjects in the sciences, they are extremely deep, even deeper than artificial intelligence. However, they have no commercial value, basically no immediate commercial value. For example, cosmology, black hole, physics, atomic physics. Okay, uh, well, there's nanotechnology and quantum computing. That's on the rise. But still, I mean, theoretical physics. Okay, that's a big thing. Theoretical physics. You can study them for 10 years. There's not even a job for you. Okay, and then there's mathematics. There's proof systems. Huge. Math is like the soul, the core of all sciences, all physical sciences, all hard sciences, including programming or computer science. So in this math area, again, it's like very deep, deeper than artificial intelligence. Okay, machine learning, whatever that. But it's not. There has no immediate commercial value, and also. And some of the topics do not even have immediate applicability. But however, it cannot be said. It must be emphasized that many of these, almost all math subjects, they are so deep, I mean, it's true they don't have immediate application, but they are like the fundamental questions. Like they are extremely important. Okay, let's put it that way. And the thing about math is that there's a saying. Okay, basically all math is applied math. It's just a matter of time. For example, yeah, cryptocurrency. That's another. Cryptography. That's also very deep math subjects. And I don't know much about it. It ties into number theory and lots of other very deep advanced math. But anyway, so, let me give you an example where it's said that all math, pure math or whatever, all math is applied math. It's just a matter of time. For example, the conic sections. Let me give you some. Yeah, let me just talk about that. For example, conic curves. Okay. So this is clearly a visual dictionary hiccup, excuse me, a visual dictionary of plane curves. This is a project I did in the 1990s. Okay, and you recognize hyperbola. You probably know. You study in high school or college. It's like boring hyperbola. Okay, hyperbolas. Okay, let's show some animations. These are always interesting. So I wrote this. I wrote this in 1995. Okay, so in Mathematica, so you can see. Well, I'm not going to explain about them, but so anyway, hyperbola and parabola. Now, parabola you've seen every day. Actually, parabola is the most. Okay, let me explain about this parabola. Okay, let's go here. So anyway, the conic sections. Okay, let me explain a little bit about conic sections. Then I'm gonna explain. So one way to define parabola is that parabola is a curve such that you draw a line, any line. Okay, given a plane, you draw a line and draw a point not on a line. Okay, so given a line at a point, okay, anywhere in a plane, you draw a line, you draw a point. Okay, then parabola is such a curve that it has equal distance between hold on a second, let's see if this works. Okay, you see this red line here, this red line here, you see they are equal distant. I mean, this, the distance from here to here and here to here is the same. So here is a line. I mean, this line is a given line, and this point is a given point. Okay, it's just like given. Uh, it's just a given point. Then you can see, then parabola is a curve such that it's a set of all points that is the distance from that point to the given point and to the line is equal. So that's how you get parabola. Okay, you can see. In other words, another way to do it is that you draw a circle. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details. Okay, but you can see. So that's parabola. That's one of the definition of parabola. But however, there are so many others. Okay, that's so interesting about math because there are so many ways that makes them together. So here is an example of parabola. You see this every day. A car, the headlamp of a car. So parabola has the property that you shine a light. For example, this one. Okay, you see this orange curve. That's a parabola, and this red point. Suppose it's a light source. My neighbors, they are cleaning the street, so it's making noises. Let me close the window. Okay, so I'm back. So parabola has this optical property. So you shine a light and they reflect off the mirror and they shoot out straight, provided that if the point is at the right position. That point is the same point when we it's called the focus. Okay, so you can see here is a parabola and here is another parabola and that's its focus, and here the green curve is also another parabola. So they shoot the rays straight. Now if the point is at different places, then the light ray will not be straight. So that's one application of parabola. Okay, then there's so many other interesting properties. Okay, and let me show you. Okay, I have lots of photos actually, but okay, that. Okay, and okay, so here's a parabola. Then and ellipse. Okay, ellipse is one of the also very interesting one. Ellipse. Okay, ellipse is a curve that such that given 2 point, the set of all points that has the same distance to these two given points forms ellipse. That is the defining definition of ellipse, one of the definitions. Okay, and there are many other properties such that you can generate the ellipse by mechanical means. Okay, mechanical meaning like cogwheels or pulleys or linkages, things like that. So here is an example of a link, kind of a linkage that generates uh, ellipse. Ellipse. Okay, so anyway, many properties. Okay, and ellipse can also be generated by rolling a circle. Now, many machines, cars, you want to convert motion, into a different rotational motion into a linear motion, things like that. That's applied. But anyway, and also if you have a cylinder and if you cut it through a plane, that shape, is actually also an ellipse. Ellipse, meaning that this shape, satisfies all these properties about ellipse, equal, such as, for example, there exist 2 points inside this circular shape, such that any point on the ellipse is has equal distance to these 2 points. So you see so all these parabola, hyperbola, ellipse, they are all called conic sections. Why they are called conic sections? Because if you have a cone and you cut it, then the intersection, the the intersections are one of ellipse or parabola or hyperbola. Okay, so all these amazing properties. Now, the point I want to make is that these conic sections, okay, all the things so far I've talked about, all these properties, they are known back in the Greeks, by the Greeks, like 2000 or 2000, 3000 years ago. Why do they know it? Because that's pure math. They just studied this out of pure curiosity. Okay, there's no application. Well, there is some, such as the mirrors. But anyway, mathematicians back then studied these conic section curves out of curiosity. But today we have rockets, right? We went to the moon. We shoot rockets to the moon. It turns out, the gravity, the Newtonian physics, gravity and how things move, they are all based on conic sections, theories of conic sections. Like sun, Earth move around the sun in a elliptical path. And essentially, the sun is the focus. Remember we talked about ellipse before, conic sections. Let's go to ellipses. These. So the one in the middle, that's a focus. That's a sun, and any of the path is a conic section. It turns out planets evolve around the sun in an elliptical path, so it becomes extremely applicable. Without conic sections, without the theories of conic sections, you cannot send people to the moon. You cannot fly rockets and stuff. And also, when you shoot a cannon, like where does the cannon land? When you shoot it, before we have missiles, we have cannons. A big gun, you shoot a stone up and it'll land on the enemy's territory. So, but you need to find out at what angle it will land where, and that's conic sections. That's parabola. That is parabola, which is one of the conic sections. The parabola with these optical properties. So all these, but the Greeks studied them like more than 2,000 years ago, and purely for interest, curiosity. But there's heavy applications, like almost like 2,000 years later. Now that's one example where pure math becomes extremely applied math. Okay. Off topic, Queen. Okay, and the other thing is the let me give you another example. The cryptography. Okay, when you want to shop on Amazon, you have to swipe credit card and all that. that relies on cryptography, which is among programmers the most popular topic. All the programmers drivel. Like when you talk about cryptography, all the programmers gets excited. Oh my God, this they think it's some fantastic topic. But cryptography, it's based on the number theory. Okay, number theory. Okay, I'm not going to get into number. I'm not okay, but I'm not going to talk about number theory. But I mean, I'm not going to explain what it is. But anyway, number theory was a pure math topic. People study it purely for curiosity reasons. Again, like 2,000 years ago. And today, it becomes cryptography. Cryptography is in essence the bulk of cryptography, cryptanalysis. It's all especially today's public key. Let's see, XALI, PGP, public key cryptography, and GNU PG, GNU Privacy Guard. Okay, let's look at that. PGP tutorial. Let's open that. And public key cryptography for beginner. Open that. So I have a introduction to GNU PG. Okay, you can read. And I have a introduction to public key cryptography for beginner. I don't know the subject. I'm just giving you a introduction, which is good enough to programmers. Okay, so you can read, you can start to understand what does key means, what does how it is done. You get the basic idea. Then you can, if you like the subject, you could study it. But it's if you really, I mean, the heart of the subject is advanced math. Okay, to know that, to understand the math behind public key cryptography, you have to have a math degree, meaning that you have to study 4 years of undergraduate math to begin with. Okay, that's just that just means you are ready to actually study the theory, the number theory. Okay, XALI math textbooks. And let me just mention another one. Here are some free math books you can read. I talked about this in my in XALI talk show before. Okay, there's actually no well, there's a basic number theory, but basic number theory they don't cover cryptography really. Today's cryptography is rather, it's beyond basic number theory. But if you are curious, you can read this introduction to number theory book. It's elementary number theory. Okay, now number theory, this is written by Edwin Clark. I'm we are acquaintances, kind of a little bit. But anyway, yeah. So that's the introduction to number theory. Okay. So cryptography is a example where it's pure math. People are studying number theory just for the sake of extremely interesting things. But now today, it has application in cryptography, which is the all important or the most important thing for the web. Essentially, it becomes not for just for the web, but between militaries. Militaries, cell phone. It becomes the most powerful thing. Pure math. Okay. So why are we talking about pure math? Because we were talking about I forgot. Okay, let me read some questions and then let's talk about good time, 34 minutes. Let's talk about an introduction to compilers. Like introduction to how compiler works. Okay, I cannot give an introduction to compilers actually because I don't, I'm not qualified. Okay, so let me check the comments. Oh yeah, so I know why I'm talking about pure math and how pure math becomes applied math. So we were talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data mining, machine learning, whatever they call it, neural networks. They're fashionable things. Today every programmer is like machine learning, machine learning. Fuck them. Fuck the elite pop programmers. On Hacker News every day, Hacker News and Reddit. So anyway, so I was saying AI, the subject AI is very interesting and deep academic topic, okay? But however, it has the distinction where it is also extremely commercially lucrative and applicable. Not just to commercial, not just make money, but to the government, military. Military that is. You have the AI, you control things. Because we are entering into a AI age. Machine robotics. You see how the robots, the bots, they can run. They can most of you have seen the Boston Dynamics bots, robots, and they can run like a cheetah. There's also bots that can fly like a bird, with wings, like flapping wings. There are also like micro bots, they crawl on a wall or whatever. There are also bots that can swim like a fish, not by a propeller, but moving the way like a fish moves. And there are bots that um, like a spider. There are bots like all kind of like snake. They move like the way snake moves, by different type of locomotion. Okay, I mean, so there are bots and there are AI. So we are entering this age. So the AI becomes extremely important. But let's get back to the topic. Okay, AI. So it's fashion. It's very commercial and very applicable immediately, and in fact, it is an urgency because all the countries need to get these, need to compete to have to propel to make progress in this area because it has a significant consequences. Whoever has the most powerful AI, significant consequences. Now keep your comments going, okay? I'll read them. Anything interesting, your opinions, just type it. So what I'm saying about AI, okay? So yeah, but AI, but I haven't really studied any machine learning. I haven't studied neural networks. I haven't studied cryptology, other than just basic, knowing what it is. So why not? Well, because also remember these are deep academic topics, but meanwhile also have very extreme commercial value and applications. But however, there are lots of huge amount of other academic topics in math. For example, math. Let's just focus on math. Okay, in math, they are extremely deep and even far more deeper than artificial intelligence. Yes, okay, deeper. The question in this math, their question is even deeper than artificial intelligence. But however, here's the thing. However, they do not have immediate applicability. Okay, one example is the foundation of mathematics. The topics in math that are associated with the foundation of math, or in put it another way, logic systems, proof systems. Okay, homotopy type theory, for example. Okay, these subjects, as I mentioned before, they are equally deep than to AI or cryptography, even deeper because they answer some of the fundamental questions about in a sense it's like in physics you answer some of the fundamental questions in physics or cosmology. Is like the history of the universe. Okay, for example, black hole, for example, cosmology, the shape of the universe, for example. You know, so what happens before the universe? You know, Big Bang, or or not Big Bang, but what happens before? you know, so these are kind of like very extremely fundamental questions, and also other questions like mind and body. What does soul mean? But anyway, but however, if you study these topics, black hole, you don't you study it for 20 years. There's no job for you. If you are good, if you are extremely good, maybe you become a professor, and that's all you get. Uh, and same. Okay, so these are like fundamental questions in physics. Okay, string theory, the grand theory of the everything. Those are theoretical physics. Okay, there's no immediate award for you. Okay, as a person. Okay, but it's extremely important. In the same way, okay, logic, some of the foundation of math, proof systems, homotopy type theory, these are fundamental questions about math. In some sense, even more important than whatever physics. Okay, I don't like physics. Fuck the physicists. you know. So because everything about physics is ultimately based on math. Okay, so math, you have these foundation math questions. Gödel's theorem. Most of you know, heard of it. Uh, so because so they are fundamental, but they don't have immediate applicability. Okay. For example, in the sense that you cannot commercialize them, like you cannot make money out of it fast. Um, so that's a situation. But so the things I am interested. Okay, AI is great. I'm interested. Cryptography is great. I'm also interested, but some of the math topics I'm interested. Proof systems. I'm far more interested in that. Okay. Some of the they are tied to theoretical computer science. Okay. So what can I do? So all the young people like say, "Oh, do you know AI? Do you know machine learning?" I know I don't know machine learning, but I'm interested in the other things. And they never, like, they don't even, like, the thing about fad and fashion and the hacker news fuck is that all the young people, you learn, the basically the fad things. They don't even know. They are not aware that there is this uh, foundation of math, logic systems. They are not aware of it. What is that? Like that is a problem. So that is problem for me. Because because it doesn't feel right. Okay. Um. So anyway, so let's check the comments. Then maybe we go on to the So yeah, I like to know deep learning, but I don't know when or ever I'm going to learn it, because there are things there, about proof systems I want to learn. I want to really, for example, here is one free math textbooks. Okay, if you go down and this and complex analysis, I also like to know differential geometry. I mean, I like to have that's the area I want to go. Topology, I don't really care about topology. For example, here is some logic books. Here's a mathematical logic. Okay, and introduction to proof theory. Okay, foundation of math. Okay, homotopy type theory. Okay, now, if you are a Haskell, if you are a fad followers, from the Hacker News fuck and Haskell, you probably heard of this homotopy type theory. But it's very interesting, because if you want to read this mathematical logic, this book, for example, free book, you need it's a graduate level. Okay, all these are graduate level, meaning that you cannot begin to read it until you have 4 years of undergraduate math, meaning that you are a math major, meaning that you already know, you already had a course in abstract algebra, you already have had a course in differential geometry, complex analysis, real analysis, 4 years of study math. then then you can read this book. But actually it doesn't well yeah well, actually it doesn't actually require you to know all those things. You can start to read this book, but it's pretty dry. It's pretty dry though. But anyway, so that's about these, and this homotopy type theory also, I tried to read it. I cannot, I cannot, can I, it's I'm not at the level to actually ready, understand the book. Okay, but so I want to show you another thing. Okay, so Xali keyboard. You can see Xali keyboard. Okay, keyboard. Let's go to battle stations. Nerd battle stations. Okay, let's look at some of the pictures. Okay, let's see, how are we doing? How am I doing? Finch. Good morning, Finch. Schumacher. Uh, no, actually, wait. I can answer that question, but hold on a second. So here is a collection of nerds battle stations. Basically, they're their desktop, their computers, their desk, either at home or at work. You can see some of these nerds, equipment, computers, mouse, keyboard, and whatever devices, gaming uh, gig. The gaming community, they call it gig. Gaming gig. Stupid gamers. And by the way, similarly for programmers in hacker community, you also have like specific jargons. Basically each community you have these kind of jargons. So, anyways, these are the battle stations of some of the interesting ones I collected. So this guy got a synthesizer. Okay, that's a controller. It's called so-called keyboard controller. Okay, but then you run to this one. Look at this one, guys. This one is spectacular. Okay, it does not look spectacular, but it is. Let me show you. Okay, there are some interesting ones. Okay, uh, and this girl. Um, for example, this one is very nerdy. Okay, right? It looks like Matrix, and many of these. For example, this guy. These computers are expensive. Expensive computer, expensive microphone, expensive headphone. That headphone is like $100 or $200. Oh, and the Emacs mug. Okay, so you see all these fancy ones, fancy systems. These speakers are like 200 or 400, something like that. But okay, now look at this one, this guy. This guy is a very poor guy. Now look look at his monitor. This is what, the 2005. And look at that keyboard. It's dirty, and that and by the way, these photos are collected, in 2009, two months ago, 2009 February. So look at this guy. So he's using, this keyboard. This keyboard is like $15, $20, and it's like year 2000. This is a Microsoft Comfort Curve keyboard. Okay, I had it before. So very cheap keyboard, and very cheap. This headset, you can see it's like very cheap things. However, he's got books here. Look, I checked this book. Now, the one at the bottom, what it says is homotopy type theory. Okay. Homotopy type theory. That is this book. And I've read this book. Okay, I have tried to read this book, and I know you cannot read this book until you have like not even just undergraduate degree. You kind of after you have a degree in math, you have to have certain specialization in logic in the foundation of math. Okay, improve systems. Then actually yeah, then okay, then you can maybe understand, by understand I mean like you can actually read the book and make sense, like you actually read off something, like learn something, homotopy type theory. So this guy, this poor guy is have this book on there, and I checked the other books. Okay, then the other one, this one is the um okay, let me show you that one. It's hard to read. It's that book, SIGP, The Structure and Interpretation of Computer Programs. Now this book is actually not difficult to read. So that's that book. Let me put it down. And so there's a Japanese version, and there's some funny pictures. Okay. So that's that book. And the one on top, I forgot what it is. The yellow one, this white and yellow thing, that's a style of cover from the publisher Springer, who specialize in math textbooks. I forgot what it is, but I might have mentioned it here. Oh yeah, so the book is which the book? Yeah, I don't know which one is the math book, but I'm guessing it's some graduate level math book. Your battle station. Okay, let's see. Dion's battle station. Okay. Not bad. Python. Okay, cool. So let's read the comment. Then maybe we start to talk about compilers. Can we still do that? Yeah, I think so. Talking about compilers, in 10 minutes, just an introduction. So let's see. Let me check the comments then. Okay, Dion says, from the little bit I've learned about deep learning, it's not a mathematically deep subject. Okay, all you need to understand is chain rule of differentiation. Okay, well, those math animations on your website are cool. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, did you create those math JavaScript graph? Those are not JavaScript. Those are mathematical, Mathematica animations created in Mathematica and converted to GIF. Like 5 years ago, I converted to GIF. Before it was QuickTime, but the encoding used is like out of it's deprecated. So anyway. So my plan is to actually use JavaScript to code JavaScript to replace everything on this website, but I just haven't done them. Uh, you know, close this. Yeah, and okay, let's read the comments. Good morning, Ali. I think it's Giabra. Oh, this one is it's called GeoGebra. Okay. Now, speaking of GeoGebra, that's a very sad story again. Okay. GeoGebra was a open source project, and it is written in Java. let's show you some interesting ones. Okay, uh, asteroid construction. I didn't write them. Okay, but then let me tell you the story. Um, let me show some easy ones so that people can. I mean, I want to show some brainless ones because those ones are always, I want to show something that's spectacular, also brainless, because those ones more complex require you to explain. When you show something that's, people can easily see it, then that's good material for, for popularization. Typically that's the situation. But anyway, here's a let me show you what this does. Okay, this one is called tremor, uh, asteroid tremor. Okay, you see this curve, this blue one, this star-shaped four points. That curve is called asteroid. Okay, and what is a tremor? Tremor is a mechanism. Okay, it's like a linkage. Like when you see the train, when you see diesel train, steam engine train, where the wheels there's a bar, you know, on it. It translates rotational motion to linear motion. Those are called linkages. Okay, linkage. Now, tremor is one of those type of mechanism. So, what is a tremor? A tremor is this red bar. You see this red bar? You see how this red bar moves? That's a tremor. So how does it work? Basically, this red bar. So you have two perpendicular bars, okay, and this red bar is a fixed length and slide around these two perpendicular bars. They just slide around it. So when they slide around it, then they will trace out. You see, they will trace out the asteroid. You can see the bar is always tangent to the asteroid curve. Okay, so that's how you can create the asteroid curve using this tremor, this mechanism, this physical mechanism. I mean, people has built it. If you just search the web, asteroid tremor, you can see, people have made, wooden stuff, and it was also used, hundreds of years ago, for doing stuff, machinery, it's industrial revolution machinery. Okay, that's asteroid. But however, there's another thing very interesting. Now, if you fix a point on this bar, then you move the bar, it will trace out a curve, and that curve is ellipse. You see how interesting it is because it traces out a curve, ellipse, meaning that this is a curve such that it has the property with two special points called focus. We talked about ellipse. So anyway, so you can see that these are kind of all the properties, of these curves are interconnected. So that's one of the wonders of math. You don't really, it's really hard to explain why they are all interconnected in such a wonderful way. That's one of the deep wonders of math. Okay, so anyways, so that explains about the curve. Okay, now the application I'm using is called GeoGebra. Okay, GeoGebra is an application. It's an open source written in Java. Okay, back in 2005 or something like that, and you can download the source code. But then JavaScript became popular, and Java for the web, it's called Java Applet. It was beginning to be phased out. In fact, Google is the first one. Google Chrome kicked out the Java application, the framework to run Java apps, in the web. Basically, it's so you have 10,000, 100,000 Java apps on the web. One day it's all gone. By the way, same thing happened to Flash. Remember Flash? It's everywhere, but Apple, in this case, Apple decided, they don't want Flash, so Flash got phased out. Good. And Java got Java, Java apps for the web got kicked out by Google. Begin with Google. So today, no, basically no browser supports it. So that's a problem for GeoGebra, because GeoGebra is written in Java and is used on the web, wrapped in Java Java applet. It's called applet. Okay. So what gonna do? They need to transform. I mean, they need to rewrite it. They need to port it to JavaScript. Okay, they did. But however, it's still so open source. Okay, it is so-called open source. But however, you cannot you cannot download the JavaScript code. You cannot, and in fact, and there you cannot find the converter, to convert your files from the Java format into the JavaScript. But basically, you cannot do it. Okay, so I created all these. I have like 60 of them. Okay, for doing math, showing all these illustrations. Okay, visual demonstration, interactive visual demonstration of many of these curves properties. Okay, so I have like 60 of them. Then this switch happened. So I want to get I use GeoGebra because it's open source, so I can keep using it. But now they switch JavaScript, and there's no way you cannot do it. But if you look, then they said, the GeoGebra is very big now. Is kind of big in math community. Okay, they have like org, non-profit org, and whatever fuck, these open source scums. It applies to all open source. Okay, you guys may not agree, but that's my opinion. So so what they do, what they do is that they created a a website where basically what they did is like they went to the cloud. Okay, so if you want to show some math stuff like before, you have to use their cloud hosted by their website. That's what happened. Let's see. No, now this is actually, this is still my domain, but it's actually not on my website. I forgot, but it's not really my website. You have to like let me show you. Xali, basically they create this cloud, and they say, what they say is that, oh, we decided we need to create this JavaScript on the cloud so that we help the community, math community and the educators, something. They always have reasons, right? But basically, this is a phenomenon of the scums of the open source. Okay, because all the open source and free software foundation fucks, Richard Stallman. You think you want to help people, but this applies to anyone. Okay, you write open source, that's great. As soon the moment your open source project has some kind of a little bit commercial value, you can start making money. Immediately it stops being open source. Everyone does it. You might say, oh, I won't do it, but it'll happen to you, especially when you don't have a job. Okay, when so this happens. So what they do is that let's see. For example, let's go here. This is one of my but anyway, I have to well, they have a cloud. Okay, I'm not going to find it. I can find it within a minute, but I'm not gonna do it. But basically, they create a cloud, and they don't want to, they don't want to just like give the JavaScript source code so you can do whatever. They don't want to do that because once they do that, they don't have a business anymore. That's the source of open nature of open source. But so they always come up with ways. Similarly, for Google and all these open source scums, Apple and Google. Google make their browser free, supposedly open source, but actually similar for Apple. It's not something you can just grab and do. In order, for example, Google Chrome is supposedly open source, right? Okay, so I want to create my own. I can't. Why cannot you? The open source, the source code is there. To actually do that, you have to have like 10 years experience, dedicated in that specific field to be able to even barely create your own browser. Okay, things like that. I mean, the bottom line is that they do what they can to actually prevent the ultimate goal of open source. That is for everyone just grab and create their own version. Because once they do that, then who's gonna use Google Chrome? Every Joe can have a browser, just like that. Why don't they just create an app so that you just click and create your own browser? They are not going to do that. But meanwhile, they always sing the songs of open source. Oh, we are so great. We help humanity. We are open source. Oh, Google Chrome is open source. This and that. It's all a lie. Okay. So that's my opinion. If you don't agree, that's fine. But so I think today I talked about this topic before. Before like 20 years ago, I was a big fan of Richard Stallman. In fact, the Free Software Foundation, but not today. I think we should. Well, I should mention, many of the ideas, anyway, yeah, let's forget about that topic. So let's let's see about okay, it's how many let's see, let me go back to read the comments. Okay, so maybe that's so maybe we're gonna talk about the compilers next day then tomorrow. Uh, okay, Shamaka says that I see you clicks to activate your window, but you suggest different methods on your site. Okay. Well, the reason is that okay, you see, I'm a efficiency nerd, so I have lots of um, sorry, why why tiling window sucks. Okay, here is a extremely popular article that's been on Reddit and Hacker News multiple times. For some reason, this article becomes extremely popular. And this article, I talk about efficiency of operating your computer. What's the best way, moving windows, switching applications, and so on. And basically, the two things I recommend is that you should set a key, okay, on your keyboard to switch apps. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details because I've talked about that in previous talks, and also you can read the article. But anyway, I give some recommendations, and one of them is to set a key, for example, F10, to switch to browser. So when I want to switch to browser, let's go back here. Like right now I want to switch browser, I should just press a key, okay? But I'm not doing that now. I'm using the auto click. Actually, I'm using the auto click. I'm not clicking, you can see, if I show you my fingers, I just move the mouse. I move the mouse here. You see, I'm not clicking. Oops, I opened that by mistake. What is this? You see, I don't click, and the way I use the mouse is I don't like actually hold it, because that strains your hand. I just nudge it. Usually I put a hand like here, just oops, yeah. So basically, I don't hold it. I touch it as little as possible. So So this is another way I recommend, which is called Drail or auto click, and I have talked about how to do it on this page, and I've also give instructions for Mac and Linux. Windows 10 removed that option, kind of. But anyway, so why am I not using the single key to switch apps? Because now I'm using this keyboard, and the function keys are tiny. Okay, so it's not actually convenient. I recommend, in one of my articles I've talked about the function keys. When you buy a keyboard, the function keys must be, pick a keyboard where you have big normal function keys. So because of this reason, I cannot, use the function keys, and this keyboard does not have that many keys. Therefore, what can you do? So I, don't have that convenient method anymore. On the other hand, I have this keypad in the middle. All these keypad are they are programmed to do things. For example, close window. Okay, let me show you here. For example, close window, reopen it. Okay, magnify, shrink, previous tab, previous tab, previous tab, next tab, refresh. It's all single key press operations, and all the keys are used. I don't have spare keys to make them switch into Emacs. Like you have 100 commands, like I mentioned before. You have 100 commands, but you only have, like, let's say 10 keys, or you have 1,000 commands, you have 100 keys. That's never, you never have enough keys. So some operations you don't have a key then. So that's the reason. So let's go back to let's see, go back to, so that's a question from Shachermaker. Okay, something like that. Finch says, let's encrypt, provide decent free SSL cert verification. Finch says, the Oregon Summer School series, all the way back from 2011, provides decent videos on proof theory, type theory, category theory, and other interesting topic. Oh, now that one I want to look into. Do you have a link, by the way, Finch? Can you post a link? Oregon Summer School. Can you? So if you have a link, if you post it, that'll be appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Because generally, otherwise, you usually get into these lame pages. Then you don't know what they are. They eventually they want your money. Whatever. That looks like mine. What? That photo? Okay, I think I'm so behind in in comments. I just ran on about other things. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, let me keep reading the comments, and maybe that's it for today. Let me get the drink. Energy drink. Okay, I've been drinking energy drink for 4 years, for 5 years, and I'm now thirsty. Now I'm like talking, every day for 1 hour and more, and now I'm becoming like lecturers. Now I'm becoming like lecturers. In academia, there is a distinction between, like, when you give a talk, in some math conference and so on, there are distinction of titles that differentiate the rank, basically, just like military and corporations. Yeah, I mean, corporation in companies, you have CEO, you have financial FEO, you have lead programmer, whatever. Like you have a like title to rank people. So in the same way, in academia, in these universities, you have professor. Okay, that is the basically. Then you have assistant professor. Okay, that's important because you don't want to confuse. Like if you get it wrong, it can be insulting. Especially when it comes to credit. So you have professor, you have assistant professor, then you have lecturers. Lecturers is like you are not a professor, but you are a lecturer. It's lower rank. So anyway, I've been talking every day now. I'm getting better at expressing my ideas the way I want it, what I want to say, and other things, a bunch of. And yeah, when you talk a lot, you need to drink. Okay, some links are coming. Let's show them. Okay, now I'm gonna just read off the comments. Few more, I think. Okay, so yeah, that application, that math application is called GeoGebra. You can just find on the web. You can use it. But I'm very so disappointed with them because now I don't have control. Like right now, I mean, all the 100, the 60 or so applications I've written, I've created. And by the way, this is GeoGebra. Even before GeoGebra, I was using others, but it's also again, well, it's a long story. It's before GeoGebra. There's one called Geometer Sketchpad. Okay, which actually connects to the history of programming. The invention of mouse, the smart programming languages. It's called Geometer Sketchpad. Geometer Sketchpad, and which is from the idea of Sketchpad, which is from the idea of a very innovative programmer and designer and architect who basically invented the mouse and who invented kind of the internet link and something like that. What's his name? I forgot. Anyway, anyone remember his name? He died like a few years ago. It's like the mother of all demo. Yeah, that he's famous. The mother of all demo. He's a very very famous. It relates to the this guy, Douglas Engelbart. Okay. Uh, yeah. Anyway, so you can read Wikipedia about it, and there's YouTube. You can see. Okay. Yeah. Douglas Engelbart. Yes. Thank you, Finch. Uh, let's see. How many people are watching now? Am I okay? 8 minutes. 8 people. I'm kind of done. Let me just read question and answers. Like read the comments and answer a few questions, and that is it for today. For today, April 13th, Saturday. And I hope you guys have a good Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday. Uh, so let's see. Yeah, let me read the comments. Okay. Question: your thoughts on cryptography on the web today? I think we kind of talked about that. It's very important. Oh, my website is not using HTTPS because Usually you need to pay to get that HTTPS cert, but I heard there's a free one, but I just haven't looked into. I just never looked into. And I don't like Google. Google kind of pushed the idea. They basically they want to eliminate every website that's not HTTPS. And all the programmers is like, oh yeah, for more security. But I think this is kind of a sinister move. It's kind of a devious. You see, so from now on, Google decided this like last year. When you have a site that's not HTTPS, it will say, not secure. Scumbag Google. Um, why is it sinister? Because to force everyone to HTTPS. HTTPS is kind of more complicated. You have to get the certificate. Also, even if you are using HTTPS, okay, there's lots of going on underneath it. Okay, it's not, well, it's secure, but it's not like 100% because the organizations, which is big organizations, they run the certificate. There's lots of dark things happening there. Okay, semantics, and these big giant corporations, they control things. So uh, for example, back a few years ago, Google and Semantic, they have a huge fight because Google blames. You can search the web, search the words I just talked about. You'll find the articles. Google claims that semantics is abusing certificate. For example, they, like, you know, um, like bribery, for example. I mean, this may not be the true case, but for example, I'm a government or something. Okay, I'm a bad guy, but I got money. Hey, semantics, let me pay you this much and make a certificate for me, but without these requirements, something like that. So semantics says, oh, how much? And big money. Oh yeah, okay, let's let me do it. Okay, don't tell anyone. Okay, 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 yeah, good, let's do it. Then so Google is claiming that semantic is doing that, abusing their cert power. Semantic, they bought the certificate company from the guy who began the Linux Ubuntu. Ubuntu guy. Uh, yeah, Ivan Sutherland. That's a Sketchpad creator. Yes, yes. Um, but the Geometer Sketchpad is a bit different, but from the same idea. But yeah, anyway, let me get back to um, the topic. So yeah, so what I'm saying is that the certificate is very complex going on, under these corporations, and for average people, it takes one more level of sophistication to create a HTTPS website. Okay, so when Google makes this move, when Google wants to remove, they want to eliminate all websites that's not HTTPS. That's on the surface it appears good. They have a one marketing department. Sell their ideas to programmers, trying to convince programmers, but I don't think it's not that simple. Okay, I think it's not that simple thing. So for example, for me, I need a cert. What do? I have to pay. Each domain. It used to be like $50 a year. I don't know how much it is. So I have to pay to do that. And my website is not a e-commerce website. I don't really need the certificate. So, but Google making this move is basically forcing the millions, billions websites out there to do that. So, so the consequence is that they eliminate the bottom lines, the average people, eliminate their ideas, whatever they can say. They becomes more corporate, the big giant players can play. That's what I see. At least this is one aspect. Okay. But the stupid fucking programmers by these hacker elite, whatever, even including open source, they don't see it that way. Because, well, not necessarily that they are wrong, but it's just that, I mean, this is a complex issue, but they don't see it. They only see one thing, that, oh, security is good, everyone should, HTTPS, that's the only thing they see, and they don't think. They just, what these elite programmers, they just read hacker news every day. They just read. They never like sit down and, like, just sit down and think about, like, you can do it today, right now, you know after the video, okay, after the Xar talk show, just sit there, and for the next hour, you can go to with you can spend with your family, you can spend with your girlfriend or wife, or husband, or whatever, okay, or watch your movie. Don't do that. Spend that 1 hour, do nothing but think about the situation of HTTPS, like a philosopher, okay? No pain, no gain. So you have to sacrifice your time to play or whatever, and just sit down and think about this one simple issue among the millions, in technology, in programming. Think about HTTPS issues. Is it good, or is it bad? What is the nature? What does it take, to require this? What does the technology, how it will actually work? There are so many ways you can think about. Just think about this. Then, after you have done this for 1 hour, then your opinion is good. That's not the case for the most fuckers on the website. They tell you, whenever this issue come up, they tell you, oh, you should this or that or whatever. Crap. The brainless beings. Okay. Okay. So what are we? Okay. Finch says sparrows Malewski provides good foundational material in his books and lectures, but homotopy type theory is very advanced indeed. Yeah, I know that guy's a little bit. I've looked into his stuff. I don't think it's for me. I don't. I haven't. I think he's a programmer turned. Basically, I don't. Well, it's hard to say. Yeah, I don't really have a comment. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I suppose he's a good. You see, his background is Haskell. Okay, when I have someone whose background is Haskell, I don't want to touch it. Okay, it's likely no good. His background is programmer and Haskell, and he's like into category theories. Category my ass. Okay, category theory is another very fashionable among programmers. Because why? Because of Haskell. Okay. Now, category theory, I can, the only person I can trust to learn category theory is from mathematicians, professional mathematicians. And even better if they know nothing about programming. By the way, Haskell category theory in Haskell is a little bit different, not the real category theory in math. And also, by the way, I'm not, category theory. That's not what I want to study. Category theory can be used as a foundation of math, but as I mentioned before, there are other things. I'm far more interested in homotopy type theory. Anyway, I don't want to make too big a issue out of this, because I don't really have the necessary foundation to actually qualified to say, I like this better than that. I mean, the category theory and the math foundation, the real things like that. Okay, I always pronounce SICP. How do you guys SICP? Oh, the book SICP. I didn't pronounce the P. I always pronounce it SICP. So Finch says, like someone equipped in a Lisp talk once. You cannot have SIGT without ICP. Okay, ICP. Uh, Interesting ads. Where? I didn't even look at ads. Google. Here's another thing evil about Google. I'm running Google ads, of course, because I live under poverty. I mean, the poverty among the poverty. Okay, and so I have to, I run Google ads. That's basically my sole income. Okay, and they started to do all sort of things. Anyway. So is auto-click focus feature built into Mac? Yes. Actually, I have an article. If you just search Xali Drill, you'll find it. Mac OS. Let's just search auto-click. You'll find articles for Linux and Mac OS X. Okay, Hoover to switch window. That's one. How to avoid mouse hand pin. That's one. And actually, I have a talk show on that. Um, and I have a page on the Mac. Let's go to. Okay, here's a Mac Hoover to switch window. Okay, I give you the details how to configure it because actually configuration is important. Um, okay, and yeah, some tips you can find the Linux page here. Auto raise window and Hoover click, they are actually different things in Linux. Um, okay, so the official link, but files are, for example, so this page is Oregon Programming Languages Summer School. Proof as programs, foundational security, software security, reliable computing. Nah. Concurrent and distributed software. Nah. I don't think I'll read it because these are not types in logic verification. Yeah, these I think. Okay, so what I'm saying is that they are practicality oriented. They are not actually teaching you the theory about these topics. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested. You know, like they are trying to tell you how. It's kind of like how to mix in with practicality, like like a career oriented, kind of thing. Spectrum of types. Now, let's see. Why do they speakers? Where is the video? Like, is this a video course or what? Yeah, but anyway, just looking at the topics, I don't think. I mean, where's the like video and material? Oh, it says for some inexplicable reason, uncompressed, um. Oh, Dion is gone. Okay, so this is latest playlist YouTube. Okay, I'll check it out. Uh, Trackballs. No, I talked about trackballs the other day. But I think ultimately mouse is better. Okay, Dion, Dion already left. Um, curriculum link. Okay. Oh, okay. Lecture, great. I'll check it out for sure. So thank you guys for coming. I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Hey Noah. Hey Noah and guys. Well, have a good day. I'll see you next time. Close, close.